ये मोह मोह के धागे तेरी उंगलियों से जा उलझे, कोई टोह टोह ना लागे, किस तरह गिर रहा ये सूझे, है रोम रोम एक तारा, जो बादलों में से गुजरे, ये मोह मोह के धागे तेरी उंगलियों से जा उलझे, कोई टोह टोह ना लागे, किस तरह गिर रहा ये सूझे। तू होगा जरा पागल, तूने मुझको है चुना, तू होगा जरा पागल, तूने मुझको है चुना, कैसे तूने अनकहा सब सुना, तू होगा जरा पागल, तूने मुझको है चुना, सा है
मेरा तेरा दोनों
मिलके शामों की तरह, ये मोह मोह के धागे तेरी उंगलियों से जा उलझे, कोई टोह टोह ना
और चराग तेरे बरने हमेशा।
पंजवा में वारण आई बला झूले लालन ओ
पंजवा में वारण आई बाला झूले लालन सिंदूरी दास से बरदा शकी सावाज कलंदर
दमादम मस्त कलंदर
अली दम दम दे अंदर दमादम मस्त कलंदर अली दा पहला नंबर हो लाल मेरी लाल मेरी। हिंद सिंध पीरा तेरे नामत बाजे हिंद सिंध पीरा तेरे नामत बाजे।
नाल बजे खरी याल बला झूले लालन ओ नाल बजे
नाल बजे घरी आल बला झूले लालन सिंदूरी दास से बरदा शकी शाबाज कलंदर दमादम मस्त कलंदर अली दम दम दे अंदर दमादम मस्त कलंदर अली दा पहला नंबर हो लाल मेरी मत रखियो भला झूले लालन सिंदूरी दास से बरदा शकी शाबाज कलंदर दमादम मस्त कलंदर अली दम दम दे अंदर दमादम मस्त कलंदर अली दा पहला नंबर दमादम मस्त कलंदर अली दम दम दे अंदर। Wow, that was an incredible performance by the Rhythm Spec. Oh my god, you guys are mind blowing. This time, actually, I cannot tell you, it was the most impressive thing that you guys have done with the painting, the music, the spoken poetry. What I feel is like, this is mesmerizing. This is like a more about the rural and the ethnical part. So thank you so much for bringing it on the stage for all of us. Yes.
First of all, I'd like to thank this gorgeous lady. Isn't she looking gorgeous? Yeah, I mean, she's amazing in the sense that she's always inspiring the local talents, trying to promote them as much she can, and look where we are. It's the most gorgeous auditorium I've ever seen in New Jersey. And thank you, Shikaji, for that. And we are always there to support you. Not only me, my whole team is there to support you. And over the years, we'll continue this program and continuing working with you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And for our little Kathak dancer, good job done, Anurone. Thank you. So can we have a picture, please? Thank you so much. Thank you. And please wait for Viva Cultura. We'll be starting just after the break. Yes, over to you.
So India is talented at many things, and we often don't even realize them. We take it for granted. Like, just take that. They were singing, they were dancing, they were painting. What weren't they doing? In fact, the Indian mathematician Aryabhat was the first person to say that pi is an irrational number. Today we take that for granted. Whenever we see the symbol of pi and we're asked what type of number it is, we go, irrational. Who created that? An Indian. Also, actually, back then, people were a lot more accepting than we are now. In fact, Akbar created his own religion, Din-e-Ilahi, by mixing religions from all over the world. For more information like this, please visit the youth committee exhibit in the ballroom. Next, we have an incredible performance by the rhythm dancers. And after this performance will be the break, but please don't go anywhere because Viva Cultura will be right after the break. Thank you. And give it up for the rhythm dancers.
What a wonderful performance by the wonderful Trupti and her troupe. Thank you so much. Come on. Please, I love your costumes, as I said backstage, and the dance was incredible. I don't know, you watch my car dancing or not. I did Goomer just because of you. Please, can I have a picture? Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you. So we'll be going for a break and we'll be starting to, I know we are running a little bit behind the schedule. So we'll start our theater seating for Viva Cultura by 1:15. So please enjoy the lunch and look at all the vendors. We'll be back.
And visit the youth committee exhibit because we may or may not be doing another quiz after the break. So you probably want to know all the answers for that.
They kept the name Discover India and they came there. That enticed me. I said, oh my God, somebody is doing Discover India here. And then I went to see the show. I cannot tell you, I was totally mesmerized. I just saw glimpses of the show because I was a little late, as usual. So then when I went there and I saw them performing the show, it was incredible. And that's how I met with the beautiful president of Viva Cultura. She's right there, sitting right over there. And I invited her. So this is a little background about them is they are coming from 15 different countries. And they are 40 artists. Can you imagine in one country itself or one city itself, I cannot have a coordination. From 15 different countries, they are coordinating those artists. And they are like, the level is way too high. So they are all professional artists, but they have come for just one cause, the long-live culture. They want to spread the happiness and goodness in the performing arts. So thank you so much. Backstage, on the stage, over here, Viva Cultura!
Who are those that inspire the world? Life givers, truth seekers, freedom fighters, single mothers, many others. Those who show the way by example, writers of the mind, speakers of the heart. Those who show by direction, those who show by reflection, those who inspire, those who show in every way. Prophets, philosopher kings, poet seers show the light of day. The golden lion roars, Goranga of golden complexion, radiant soars, illuminating decay, singing a way forward. He calls to all the denizens of the forest, a mighty king, a gentle poet. His voice serrates the air, sharp with beauty, cutting all misgivings with the deepest prayer. Goranga's roar calls all bar none. We're one in spirit, evermore, brothers and sisters, under the tutelage of the divine troubadour. Tiger and deer, lion and steer, dance in trance to his beauty. Immediate revelation of bliss and duty. All the animals, side by side, all the denizens, none need hide, standing in the light of the bright, of the divine troubadour. Brothers and sisters, live not for praise. To love is to give. Living a life of gratitude, how can you inspire the world? Our first performance this evening was a tribute to the divine troubadour, the supreme poet, the golden avatar, Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the supreme proponent of ultimate spiritual culture. inspired by the magnanimity of Lord Chaitanya. We have come here for the sake of giving. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Cronje van der Merwe, and I'm from Cape Town, South Africa. I'm honored to serve you this afternoon, as Master of Ceremony. We're a team of 30 artists from 15 different countries, united in all of our diversity by Viva Cultura, for the sake of portraying a way of being that is above and beyond the mundane. And so, our next performance for this evening will be conducted by Sankhya Dance Company. They've been intimately involved with Viva Cultura for the past 10 years, from the very inception of their company, in fact. They're mainly rooted in the ancient South Indian tradition of Bharatanatyam, and they portray a living tradition with devotion and precision. Consider for a moment what it is that maintains your life force. It is the rhythm of your heart. Rhythm is the backbone of music and the basis of so much in the natural world. And so, the rhythmical patterns of India are mystical and intricate and alluring in their exotic nature. Sankhya will explore an evolution of 9 different beats within a traditional Bharatanatyam rhythm, utilizing traditional costumes of the tradition of Bharatanatyam and geometrical patterns of movement. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Sankhya.
ta 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 di ta di ta 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 na ta di ta ta jono ta ka di ko ta ding na ta di ta 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 di ta di ta 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 na ta di ta ta jono ta ka di ko ta ding na ta di ta 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 di ta ka di ko ta ding na ta di ta 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 na ta ka di ko ta ding na ta di ta ta jono ta ka di ko ta ding na ta di ta ta ding ta ka di ko ta ding na ta ka di ko ta ding na ta ta ka di ko ta ding na ta ta ka di ko ta ding na ta taka diku ta ding na to taka diku ta ding na to taka diku ta ding na to taka diku ta di ta ta dum 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 taka diku krega krega 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 dum
To the land of Estonia, where a great personality was born. Those who inspire the world are those rooted in principle. Dina Dayal is Viva Cultura's martial arts expert, and he is fully rooted in the constituent principles of self-discipline. As a monk in the tradition of Bhakti Yoga, he dedicates himself completely to his spiritual service. For him, to perfect his art is his way of inspiring the world. He is not merely an entertainer, he represents the ancient warrior class of the Kshatriyas, those who protect the vulnerable from harm. And so for his first act, he will be utilizing his staff weapon, combining a battle scene sequence with other aesthetically astute techniques. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Dina Dayal. Love is not about you. True love is about your beloved. True love is servitude, sacrifice, loyalty, commitment, chastity. An ancient epic of world literature, especially popular in the region of Southeast Asia and India, the Ramayana tells a tale of such love, the love between the divine couple, Sita and Ram. Ladies and gentlemen, by a show of hands, how many of you are familiar with this tale of the Ramayana? Wonderful. Then you're in for a treat. I will not say anything more. Instead, I will introduce my dear friend, Mr. Ethan Smith, also from Cape Town, South Africa. He currently resides in Krakow, Poland, where he lives as a professional musician. He's expert at what he does, and he's also an eloquent speaker. He will guide you into this divine portrayal of Sita and Ram.
Love stories. Love stories. People in love stories. People in love stories. People stories in love stories, not in love. I played my part in a love story once. It was a lovely story in a love story, but I was not in love. But what more need I do, not in love, in a lovely love story, than to play my part for those who are in love, and for those who love love stories. Sita and Ram.
Jatayu.
They say that you're all looking for love. A love that is true. A love that is real. I found that love. A divine love. A love supreme. Ram's love for Sita and Sita's love for Ram. And I fell for that love. I live for that love. For once you've found that sort of love, what more need you do than to play your part for those who are in love and for those who love love stories.
When we consider love, we mostly think of romantic love, conjugal love. But there is, of course, also the love between parent and child, and an especially sweet form of love that is so necessary for all of us is the love of friendship. Over the past few months, I've had the opportunity to observe the wonderful friendship that the ladies of Sankhya Dance Company share. They do everything together, and it is amazing to see. So their next piece is entitled Jatis, and it portrays the joys of being united in friendship. This piece is supported by the rhythmical undertones of the mridangam, a traditional South Indian drum that is very dear to the tradition of Bharatanatyam. Thereafter, the ladies will perform a piece entitled Stomp, in which they will utilize the full rhythmical capacities of their bodies. Ladies and gentlemen, Sankhya Dance Company. This is no common kitchen utensil. This is a very special sieve. Would you like to know why? Because this sieve belongs to a great person, Dina Dayal. Dina Dayal has a unique purpose for this sieve. Would you like to know what he uses this sieve for? He's really fond of it, you know. He travels all over the world with it. So, when he finds himself in a place where the cooks are a little generous with oil, he places his cooked food inside the sieve, and he keeps it under some hot running water to drain it of excess oil so that he can maintain optimum body fat percentage. For stamina, of course. Now, Dina Dayal is also the master of self-sufficiency. He designs and stitches, creates his own costume, creates his own choreographies. He even ties his own shoelaces. Now, the most impressive aspect of Dina Dayal's self-sufficiency is that he creates his own weapons from scratch. He's an expert swordsman, and so he will be conducting a dual sword performance. First, he will offer his respects to his weapons, acknowledging their lethal nature. Ladies and gentlemen, Dina Dayal. Identity. How do you determine who you are? In this life, You've accumulated so many experiences. You've become conditioned in different ways. You've met many people, and you've gotten some feedback. In this way, you form a certain conception of who you are. Perhaps you determine your identity according to where you live, what your profession is, what you possess. However, these things are all temporary. And so perhaps it is more wise to question not who you are, but what you are. The primary tenet of Vedic philosophy is that we are not these temporary material bodies, but that we are eternal spiritual beings. There is also the lady with the angelic voice, Amrita Gopi from the Ukraine. There is Mr. Sundar Chaitanya from Belarus, man of rhythm. Everyone's favorite uncle on tour, Purushottam from America. And then there is Premananda Kirtan, our musical director, the man responsible for all of the sound that Viva Cultura produces. Last,
when I see myself staring back at me, I see the soul. Can I believe that the soul is really me? There's a fight inside with myself and I, hurting, burning that won't subside. I ask me why, I call out and cry, who is really me? Who is really me? I see myself. What do I see when I see myself staring back at me? I see the soul. Can I believe that the soul is really me? That the soul is really me. I feel it rising, taking hold. Something inside me is being called. I look inside me, what do I see? I see the soul staring back at me. It's energizing every step. Ancient secrets no longer kept, like a phoenix rising from the ashes. Meaning returns in brilliant flashes. I see myself. What do I see when I see myself staring back at me? I see the soul. Can I believe that the soul is really me? I am the soul. You are the soul. We are the soul. Let's be the soul. I see myself. What do I see when I see myself staring back at me? I see the soul. Can I believe that the soul is really me? That the soul is really me. That the soul is really me. The soul is really me. That the soul is really me.
you, a highly extraordinary personality. someone who has dedicated himself to the spiritual path for the past 48 years of his life. His name is Indradyumna Swami. Ladies and gentlemen, because of his spiritual purity and his personal potency, he has been elevated to a level where he has met and befriended great world leaders such as Nelson Mandela and the Dalai Lama. He inspires tens of thousands around the world to dedicate themselves to a life of authentic spiritual practice. For us at Viva Cultura, he really is the inspiration. He has a personal connection to each and every one of us, and he motivates us to dedicate ourselves to this great cause. Before our final theatrical performance of the evening, he will come on stage and share some words of wisdom. Ladies and gentlemen, Indradyumna Swami.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. Our Viva Cultura Foundation is dedicated to exploring and sharing the various cultures of the world. On our tour of America this time, we're blending the culture of the East, most notably India, with the West. There was a famous author, 19th century in India, Rudyard Kipling. He once said, East is East, and West is West, and never the twain shall meet. He would be pleasantly surprised this evening to see how our show is very nicely combining those two cultures, wouldn't you? Yes, okay. So I've been asked to share with you a veritable jewel of India's ancient spiritual culture, and that is the wisdom that is found in her ancient scriptures. It's said in India that any great event is only successful if there's a spiritual touch. So we'll share with you a little bit of the wisdom found most notably in this book, Bhagavad Gita. The Gita was spoken 5,000 years ago in India by Lord Sri Krishna, and it has been practiced and followed down to the present day. In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna begins by explaining that in this world there are 8,400,000 species of life. Most important of all those species of life is the human form of life, because the Creator has been very kind and He has endowed us as human beings with what we call in Sanskrit buddhi, or intelligence, just like we've all heard of Lord Buddha. Buddha means the intelligent one or the enlightened one. So a gift by God to all of us is that intelligence, and in the last 200 or 300 years, human society has taken advantage of that intelligence. We have science, we have medicine, we have space travel. This is all very nice. But according to the wisdom of Lord Krishna in his Gita, and the rishis and the sadhus and the yogis who still to this day follow the Bhagavad Gita, they say that that intelligence has been given to us for a higher purpose. And what could that be? That intelligence has been given to us to go within and discover our deeper spiritual nature. It can't actually be debated. Within this gross material body, there's a spiritual force, there's a spark of life. We say in Sanskrit, Atma or Atman, the soul. And this is who we really are. And real progress in human society means to discover that spiritual self within, and that self's connection with the Supreme Self, the original person, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This is the teachings of the ancient sages, the teachings of Bhagavad Gita. And Krishna goes into great detail. Second chapter, he begins by explaining that what we're not. First he tells us who we are, then he tells us who we're not. And he says the first step in the science of self-realization is to understand that I'm not this material body. Most of us, if not all of us, are very conditioned to thinking we're the body. When we wake up in the morning, we look in the mirror. Depending on how our evening was, our night was, I look in good shape, or I don't look good today. These thoughts may cross our mind. But actually, we're not this material body. When we talk about this body, we say this is my hand, this is my arm, this is my head, this is my stomach, this is my body. We don't say I hand, I arm, I head, I body. No, it belongs to me, it's my body. Who's the me? This is the first question of life. not just for those who were fortunate to be born in India or part of the Indian civilization where all these literatures are there, but anyone, everyone. It's not a question simply for theologians and scientists and philosophers. All of us are meant to understand who we actually are beyond this material body. So Bhagavad Gita enlightens us in that way. Actually, Krishna gives very much detailed knowledge about the soul. For example, he states that the dimension of the soul is 1/10,000th the tip of a hair. You do a Google search in Western culture, you won't find the dimension of the soul. You can even ask Siri, she won't reply. No. And Krishna also describes where that soul is situated within the body. He describes that soul as resting in the region of the heart, floating on what we call prana, or life air, within this body. In yoga we learn the subtle knowledge that within the body there's the life air flowing, the soul is hovering here in the region of the heart. And intuitively we know that. Because when we identify ourselves to someone, we point to our chest. I want to tell you. You don't point to your ear and then that person's toe. You point to your chest. We have an intuition where we are within this gross mechanical material body. What we're lacking is knowledge. And that knowledge is here in ancient scriptures like Bhagavad Gita. You could say, make a comparative study. Bhagavad Gita is like the PhD study of the science of the soul. And that's why it's popular not only in India, but all over the world. Because especially in our modern days, where so much information is available, people are searching for these questions about life. Krishna goes on to explain that soul comes into the body at the moment of conception. It's not that life comes from chemicals. Life is eternal. Najayate mriyate vakarachinnayam bhutva bhavita vanubhuya. In the Gita it's said that for the soul there's never birth nor death, nor having once been does he ever cease to be. He's unborn, undying, primeval. He is not slain when the body is slain. So from the very moment of conception, the person there, the soul is there, and because of the presence of the soul, the embryo grows. The sages say dead things don't grow, only living things grow. And because of the presence of the soul, the body continues to grow. We're children, teenagers, middle age, just like your car. Your car's a machine. It may be a very sophisticated machine, but without the presence of the driver, it doesn't move. So this body is a very sophisticated machine created by the most intelligent person, but without the soul inside, it can't move forward. But like a car, eventually has its end. It's a machine. I don't see many old cars driving on the highways here. All cars have their end. Similarly, this body comes to an end. And that's the next, one of the main questions in life. What happens at the end? In Western culture, there's not so much information. Perhaps we know we go up, we go down. But the glory of India's culture is that knowledge is there to help prepare us. Because we're always concerned about the future. When we're young, we're giving some of the best years of our life, 25 years to study, so we can have a career. And we have a career, we're putting some money aside for old age, because we're always concerned about the future. So what is the future in 20 or 30 or 40 or 50 years, not more than 100 years? None of us will be here. Where do we go? The cats, the dogs, the birds, the insects, they can't inquire and they can't find the knowledge, but we can. Along with this intelligence comes the responsibility to answer these most important questions of life. And Krishna answers it very simply in one verse in Bhagavad Gita. Eloquence is truth spoken concisely. He says, Dehinosmin nita dehe, komanam yovanam jara, tatate antaras praptir, diras tatanimuyanti. As the embodied soul passes from the baby of a boy to a youth, to middle age, to old man, as we change bodies in this lifetime, we change bodies at the moment of death. We can all remember when we had a 5-year-old body. Where is it now? Where's your 16-year-old body? Something's changing, something's staying the same. The body is constantly changing. The soul remains the same. In fact, Krishna states, na yovanam cha, the soul is eternally youthful. So we survive death. And where do we go? According to our actions in this lifetime, be they pious or impious, according to our desires at the moment of death. If we still have unfulfilled desires, we're placed into the womb of a new mother. Reincarnation. Carne is a Latin verb which means flesh. So reincarnation means to change the flesh. And this has been going on since time immemorial. Or you could say since we left the spiritual world, our original home. This has been going on, this reincarnation, from universe to universe, from species of life to species of life, to body to body. But an intelligent person will think, this is not such a good proposal. Because what is the nature of this world? Krishna says in Gita, Dukkalaya Mashashvatam. We should hear his words. Whenever an important person comes before us and says something, the president or the governor or the senator, because of their position, we're inclined to hear. So if the Supreme Personality of Godhead is there to instruct us, we should be all ears. So he states that this world is temporary and problematic. So we should try to find a positive alternative. It's not to be found just in science and technology. They can make life a little easier, but they can't solve the four realities of this world, which will never change: birth, disease, old age, and death. That can only be solved by transcending this world. And transcendence is not just for yogis and mystics and priests and imams. It's for all us laymen as well, because we want to go home. There's no place like home. And that home is actually the spiritual world, where we enjoy the highest happiness. What is the highest happiness? Love. Even in this world, love is the highest happiness. So what to speak in the spiritual world, where there's no interruption, because the soul never takes birth, it never grows old, it never dies, it never gets diseased. So the Gita encourages us by this knowledge, and more so encourages us to live a lifestyle which is conducive to awakening this spiritual knowledge. It's not that just, that there should just be a few saints in every spiritual tradition. All of us should become godly. Not God, he's very great and very, very small, but we should become godly, irregardless of where we took our birth, what is our profession. All those things are relatively important. But the most important thing is to awaken that divine love for God within our hearts through our knowledge and through our culture, and make real progress in human society by going back home, back to Godhead. The Gita can help us. This knowledge was valuable 5,000 years ago. It's valuable now, and it will be valuable 5,000 years from now. And as intelligent men and women, we should take full advantage. And we have a book table outside. Viva Culture has a book table outside where you can see this very beautiful edition of Bhagavad Gita with the original Sanskrit, the translation, and the purports, and make it part of your library and make tangible spiritual advancement in your daily life. My 10 minutes are up. I've summarized the vast Vedic knowledge which has been studied for thousands of years in 11 minutes. I thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
53 years ago, an elderly Indian gentleman made a decision that would change the course of the future. He boarded a cargo ship in Calcutta that was bound for New York to bring here what he knew to be the greatest gift in all of existence. This gift was a message contained within the pages of a book. His name was A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. And so, thank you. And so he came with very few personal possessions, some clothes, some cooking equipment, a mere 40 rupees, and most importantly, a trunk full of books. Not a variety of books, but numerous copies of the same book that he had painstakingly translated from the original Sanskrit text. He had printed and distributed this book all by himself. This book was the Srimad Bhagavatam, the science of the Supreme Person, a complete delineation of the essence of culture, philosophy, religion. The purpose of this book is to transform its reader into a fully integrated person, an enlightened being, and nothing less. The consequent success of Srila Prabhupada in spreading the message of the Bhagavatam around the world to all is astounding. However, unfortunately, we do not have time for this amazing story. But Viva Cultura has taken note of the emphasis that Srila Prabhupada has placed on this great literature of the Srimad Bhagavatam. And so we have artfully consolidated the essential backbone narrative of the story with a contemporary exploration of parental love. And so, ladies and gentlemen, I bring you the final act of the afternoon, Light of the Bhagavatam.
असोमा सद्गमय तमसोमा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्योर्मा मृदङ्गमय ॐ शान्ति शान्ति असोमा सद्गमय तमसोमा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्योर्मा मृदङ्गमय ॐ शान्ति शान्ति असोमा सद्गमय तमसोमा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्योर्मा मृदङ्गमय ॐ शान्ति शान्ति
Deem, tareem, tareem, tadeem. Dim, dim, tadim, dim, tadim, 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 tagida, dim, tagida. Deem, tadim, tadim, tadim. Dim, dim, tadim, dim, tadim, 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 tagida, dim, tagida. Deem, tareem, 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 tadim. Dim, dim, tadim, dim, tadim, 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 tagida, dim, tagida. Deem, tadim, 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 tadim. Dim, dim, tadim, dim, tadim, 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 tagida, dim, tagida. Deem, tadim, tadim, tadim. Dim, dim, tadim, dim, tadim, 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 tagida, dim, tagida, dim. Tadim, tadim, tadim. Dim, dim, tadim, dim, tadim, 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 tagida, dim, tagida. Lalang, kutakka, dikkurakka, tadinginnatum. Lalang, kutakka, dikkutakka, tadinginnatum. Lalang, kutakka, dikkutakka, tadinginnatum. Dajam, tatakita, ta. Danada, januda, dimida, kitada. Takita dikita tum kita num kita kita dari kita dah jam tak kita deh jana deh janu deh demi deh kita deh kita tum kita num kita dari kita jam tak kita dah dana dah janu dah demi dah kita dah tak kita deh kita tum kita num kita dari kita jam tak kita deh dana deh Junude கிட்ட த கிட்ட தி கிட்ட தொம் கிட்ட நம் கிட்ட கிடத்துக்கு திருக்கிட்ட
தஜம் தத் தக்கிட்ட தனு தஜம் தத் தக்கிட்ட ஜனு தஜம் தத் தக்கிட்ட திமி தஜம் தத் தக்கிட்ட கிட்ட தஜம் ததனம் தக்கிட்ட கிட்ட தொம் கிட்ட ரத் தஜம் தத் தத் தஜம் தரீம் கிடத்தக தரி கிடத்தும் தத் தஜம் தத் தத் தஜம் தரீம் கிடத்தக தரி கிடத்தும் தத் தஜம் தத் தத் தஜம் தரீம் கிடத்தக தரி கிடத்தும் தஜம்
தத் தகிட தனி தஜம் தத் தகிட ஜனு தஜம் தத் தகிட திமி தஜம் தத் தகிட கிட்ட தஜம் ததனம் தகிட கிட தொம் கிட்ட ரத் தஜம் தத் தத் தஜம்
தரீம் கிடத்தக தரி கிடத்தும் தத் தஜம்
தத் தத் தஜம் தரீம் கிடத்தக தரி கிடத்தும் தத் தஜம் தத் தத் தஜம் தரீம் கிடத்தக தரி கிடத்தும்
தீம் தத்தீம் 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 திம் திம் தத் திம் திம் தத் திமித்த திமித்த தீம் தக்கிட்ட தீம் தக்கிட்ட தீம் தத்தீம் 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 திம் திம் தத் திம் திம் தத் திமித்த திமித்த தீம் தக்கிட்ட தீம் தக்கிட்ட
நீ நீ த ப ம க ரி ச ரி க ரி நீ ச ரி க ம ப த நி ரி நீ த ப ம க ரி ச ரி க ரி நீ ச ரி க ம ப த நி ரி க ரி க ரி ச ரி க ரி ச ரி த நி ச ரி க ரி ப ம க ரி ச ரி ச ரி ச நி த ப ம ப த நி த ப ப ம க ரி ச ரி க ப ம க ரி ச ரி க ம ப த ப ம ம ப த நி த ப ப த நி ச ச ரி க ரி ச ரி த ரி த நி த நி த நி த ப த நி த நி த நி த ரி க ரி தி த த நி தி த ப த த நி தி த ச ரி
tarikidatam hakunna matata tattajam tarikidatagadajam tarikidatam hakunna matata tattajam tarikidatam hakunna tagadajam tarikidathim matata tattajam tarikidatam hakunna tagadajam tarikidathim matata tattajam tagadajam chonudajam dimidajam hakunna matata kidadagadam hakunna matata kidadagadam tat kidadagadam hakunna matata kidadagadam tat kidadagadam tat kidadagadam tathing ginatum 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 hakunna matata tat kidadagadam tat kidadagadam kidadagadam hakunna matata tat kidadagadam kidadagadam hakunna matata kidadagadam tathing ginatum 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 hakunna matata kidadagadam hakunna matata kidadagadam tat kidadagadam hakunna matata kidadagadam tat kidadagadam tat kidadagadam tathing tarikidadum 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 tam tattajam tarikidatagadajam tarikidadam hakunna matata tattajam tarikidatagadajam tarikidadam hakunna matata tattajam tarikidadam hakunna tagadajam tarikidathim matata tattajam tarikidadam hakunna tagadajam tarikidathim matata tattajam tagadajam chonudajam dimidajam hakunna matata kidadagadam hakunna matata kidadagadam tat kidadagadam hakunna matata kidadagadam tat kidadagadam tat kidadagadam tathing ginatum 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 hakunna matata tat kidadagadam tat kidadagadam kidadagadam hakunna matata tat kidadagadam kidadagadam hakunna matata kidadagadam tathing ginatum 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 hakunna matata kidadagadam hakunna matata kidadagadam tat kidadagadam hakunna matata kidadagadam tat kidadagadam tat kidadagadam tathing tarikidadum 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 tam takita tam takita ta ding ginna tum tam takita tam takita ta ding ginna tum tam tam takita tam takita ta ding ginna tum ta ding ginna tum ta dim ta ding ginna tum ta dim ginna tum tam ta dim ginna tum tei ta ding ginna tum 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 ta ding ginna
As the prince is coaxed to return to his land and free the land from the villains and restore its glory, the prince is taunted by the tormenting thoughts of his father's death and his involvement in the death. He refuses to take his role as the king and never wants to return until a greater being reminds him of the same values his dad once preached. Believe in yourself and don't deter from your path. Never think evil or do evil. Good always triumphs over evil. You are never alone in your life. You are watched and guided every minute by the guiding star Dhruva through life by our good deeds, thoughts, and ancestors.
I would like to have the entire troupe here. The entire troupe. Can I please have them back on the stage? I was trying to search for my microphone. Okay, yes, yes. All right, this is the Lion King troupe. Oh my God, oh my God. I have never seen a Bharatnatyam performance in such a grand manner. When any classical dance comes in your mind, it is always about how, like, they'll do something traditional. But you took it to, what, 10 levels ahead? Or 20 levels? So awesome, beautiful makeup, beautiful jewelry, and the lady herself. Can I have you? She is the one who made this possible. And I'm so honored. I'm so honored to have you on the stage. It is like, this production will go. So now Lion King will be my production. Thank you so much. Can you please? Yes. Please. Yes, I can see all the parents right at the back. They are all the time behind and helping out. Okay, so can we have a picture? Can we all scoot in? Scoot in, scoot in. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, of course. You are the major one. Yes, come there. So we just concluded our most ambitious project called Discover India 2018. It was held at Patriots Theatre, Trenton, New Jersey. I cannot tell you how mesmerizing and incredible all the performances were. The performances captured the real values and the ethics of India. So we started with all the local performances, then followed by Viva Cultura that came from 15 different countries, having 40 artists. They showed the story of Raja Parikshit, Bhagavad Gita, Ram Sita in the most modern format that nobody could have ever imagined. Then came Chitra Ramaswamy's Lion King. I had never thought that Bharatnatyam rendition can be so beautiful. So overall, we were so delighted to host all these programs under our banner called Celebrations. And this is my husband, and it was under the banner of one and only Celebrations team. So we are very, very, very excited with the successful event.
Thank you. Today we just celebrated Discover India 2018, our 8th edition of Discover India. It was one of, as Shikhaji said, it was one of our most ambitious projects so far. We have all learned stories, we've all heard stories, but what an amazing display of the stories. Through Viva Cultura, Lion King, Bharatnatyam, there were so many talented local performances, amazing show. It was a great show today. It was a great turnout. So many people out there in the auditorium. Everybody loved it. And what a grandeur of the auditorium as well. I'm so happy that we are trying to build our community together here in Central New Jersey. We welcome you all to join us in our future endeavors. Thank you so much.
So we just concluded our grand celebration of Discover India 2018. Oh my God, it was just awesome. At one-of-a-kind venue called Patriots Theatre. The grandeur of the theatre actually enhances the performances And over here is my entire celebrations team. We actually cannot tell you that the way we were working hard and bringing this program together and the way it ended, it is beyond our expectation. And the Viva Cultura, the Lion King performances, Arindham, Shivani Badgi, everybody brought in so much of culture, so much of life to all the things. Then we had amazing vendors with the food by Amravati. So it was very, very nice day. Thank you to Mana TV, TV5 for always supporting the community, because it means a lot for organizers like us if we can reach out to the right community. So thank you to TV5 and Mana TV. You guys rock.